If you've ever thought about writing or publishing a book, whether it be a children's book, a grown-up book, a planner, anything, you are going to love this episode. And this is actually a very, very special episode because I am bringing back my incredible friend and mentor, Sharon Hunley, who was on the Messy Success podcast. I mean, I know she was in our first 3 episodes ever. And I'm trying to remember if we've done a solo episode since. But she's been in my life for, gosh, it's got to be getting close to a decade at this point. And Sharon was my photography mentor. And I love sharing these stories of how I know people. And I don't know if you guys have noticed the trend in who I choose to be guests on the Messy Success podcast. I would say 95% of the time, there is a very close connection. They're very much in my community, whether they're my mentor, whether they're in my program, whether they're a peer. It's really important to me that I have this kind of intimate connection with the guests that I bring on because it makes the conversation that much deeper. And you guys actually, I would challenge you to pay attention to the difference next week, or actually you can go back. Sorry. We're kind of ahead on the podcast right now. That never happens. Okay. So 2 episodes ago when Megan came on the podcast, this was technically her 3rd time. And I just felt like this episode was wildly different because her friendship and I has gotten so much deeper. It really makes a difference. And that's not that you can't still have great episodes with new people. You totally can. But we get pitches all the time, and finding great guests is just not a pain point. I have the most incredible community. And honestly, I could be pitching big names and bringing on big guests to try to grow my following. And, there's probably a world where that would be a good idea. But right now, in this moment, in this season of where we are in our podcast and our community building, it just always serves me so much better to build my own stage, to build my own community, to lift up the people around me and the people that have inspired me the most. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to bring Sharon back on. And she has recently launched her children's book, and she did this incredibly. It was a wildly successful launch, and we're going to talk about that. And I think there's just a huge difference in how Sharon went about writing this book and her intention behind it versus a lot of what is trending right now in the book writing industry. She nailed it. And when I say she nailed it, all I can think about is when my photography business was successful because it was all driven by my passion and my purpose, and I didn't know anything about marketing at the time. I was just sharing my journey and just sharing everything from this really vulnerable and authentic place. And that's what Sharon did with this book writing experience, and she blew it out of the water. And there's something really powerful in that. And I hope that you'll take away something from this episode. So let me tell you more about Sharon if you've never met her. I know a lot of you in my audience actually haven't been around since my photography days, so you may not know Sharon, and you're going to absolutely love her. So Sharon is the owner of Sharon Elizabeth Photography, a photo and video company serving heartfelt and intentional humans. She's the host of Breaking Joy, a podcast that embraces the complexities of life, and the author of Sunnybird's Special Nest, a heartfelt children's book with themes of gratitude, love, and finding joy in the little things. Sharon's also pursuing her master's in clinical mental health counseling, blending her passion for storytelling with her deep commitment to emotional well-being and meaningful conversations. She lives in the beautiful Nags Head, North Carolina, where she can usually be found snuggled up on the couch with her family or chasing the last light of day along the sandy shores. And fun fact, Sharon does the majority of my branding pictures. So all the pictures that we use to promote these podcast episodes are are done by Sharon. She's an incredible photographer. And I literally just found her on the internet and loved her work so much and was like, I want to learn from her. And that's how it all went down. She's just such an incredible human and an incredible friend. And I could spend 60 minutes just storytelling and raving about how much I love her. But I will actually bring her on so you guys can meet her for yourself. So let's get started. Welcome back to the Messy Success Podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Henson. I help creative business owners and artists build communities around your brand so that business is easy and profitable. When you stay in action, yes, I mean even messy action, only good things happen. We are always learning, and when we can get just as excited about the lessons as the results, magic happens. I've helped million-dollar companies with their marketing, but my mission in this world is to help you step into the best possible version of yourself so you can create your dream business too. We believe in community and people over strategies and tactics. Our theme here at the Messy Success Podcast is the 1% adventure, where we're focusing on getting 1% better every single day. I want you to color outside the lines and embrace the messy journey to take daily action towards your goals. If you've noticed a plateau in your business, we've created a very quick quiz where you can find out your next best move. Head over to elizabethhenson.co/next to find out. Now let's get started. Hello, Sharon. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We were just taking funny face pictures before we started, getting our belly laughs in. I have already introduced you and told everyone how much I love you and our story, our love story. But now it's your turn to tell everyone who you are and what you do, how you help.
Okay, great. My name is Sharon, and I am definitely a multifaceted person. I wear a lot of hats, but I feel like the root of it all is connection and meaningful moments. I'm a photographer. I think this is year 17. That's wild.
That is
I'm
wild.
also I know, I'm a filmmaker. I do this with my husband now, so we're a husband and wife team, and I love working with him. He has such a great butt. So it's like the view is nice.
Butts and beards, baby.
Yeah, butts and beards. I am also returning back to school, so I'm currently getting my master's in clinical mental health counseling. I have a goal of being a children's therapist, and I have a podcast of my own, Breaking Joy. And somehow, throughout all of this, I have managed to publish my first children's book.
Oh my gosh. I know. And that's what I can't wait to talk about today. But holy moly. Okay, 17 years of photography. And then when you said multifaceted, multi-passionate, I was like, oh my gosh. Like that was our thing. That was what our
Mhm,
mastermind, which had the coolest name, Leverage and Lead,
mhm,
was specifically for multi-passionate entrepreneurs, which is such a
mhm.
thing and so relevant to everyone that's listening to this podcast. And how do you feel like you have maintained this multi-passionate ability when it almost seems like the direction that social media and business is going? I'm not all about the niche. I'm not saying we have to choose a niche, but I feel like I'm noticing a lot of social media accounts that grow and thrive. It's because they're like laser focused. And I'm like, but I
Mhm.
don't wanna.
Yeah, I don't want to either, so therefore I don't. I This is so corny, but cookie cutters are for the kitchen, and I wouldn't I love rules, but I feel like when it comes to marketing and the way that I operate my business, I kinda, like, rebel a little bit, I guess, against the
Mm,
industry standard, and for all of the people who told me that I wouldn't be successful because I didn't just focus on one thing, I say I feel fulfilled and my heart is happy, and I don't even like baking, so I don't even like want to deal with the cookie cutter
Oh,
process at all.
that's such a good way of looking at it too. And it's like you're happy, all your needs are met. Why the F wouldn't we just pursue exactly what we want to pursue,
Mhm.
right?
When I
Like,
when I think about I don't know, like, just focus I don't even like saying it, like, it makes me, like, sweaty. When I think about just doing one thing, I honestly I have a visceral reaction. I mean, even talking about it, you can tell, like, I have
mhm.
a visceral reaction. It does not feel aligned for me, and I just know that I would not feel fulfilled in just doing one thing. That makes
Have
me
you done your
sad.
human design? Have we talked about it? Have you done your human design? Are you
Yes.
manifesting? Okay.
Um, oh gosh, what is it? The generator?
Yeah. Were you a generator or a manifesting generator?
I am just the generator. I
Okay.
realized the very first time I did it, I'd entered my wrong, time of birth.
Okay. Well,
So
that
I'm
doesn't usually change it too much, but yeah, generator totally makes sense. Manifesting generator or generator, we have that like need to go really deep into a project, and then that
Mhm,
could change, like, you know.
mhm,
And I'm not a human design expert, but I know there was something that unlocked for me of like knowing, like, oh, this is actually just how I'm built. Like this whole
mhm,
multi passionate thing isn't some character flaw or my inability to focus. Like
yeah,
it's actually how my creative energy works, and like
mhm.
learning to build around that.
I think one of the beautiful things I took away from looking into that was when it talked about how generators do really well responding to things.
Yeah.
When things come in, they know immediate I wish I could snap my fingers. I'm not very good at it, but they know immediately, like, what feels in alignment and what doesn't. So you asking me that question about, like, narrowing your focus, like, I know immediately that that is just not
And like
how
within
my
your
life
body, because you said it gives me the ick. Like within your body, you
Yeah.
knew. Yes.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. That's been like one of my favorite things of like learning to trust my intuition and my body, that visceral reaction to
Mhm.
things. Cause like your logical brain, it'd be like, no, you should do one thing. But like if it's a full body no, it's not going to be successful.
Mhm. I also side note, um, you know the Enneagram,
Hmm.
and there's the different I can never say this word correctly, triads.
Hmm.
So some are the heart triad, some are the brain, and some are the gut. I am a 5 wing 4. So the 5 is part of the brain and the 4 is part of the heart. And it's ironic that I still get like a visceral, like just systemic reaction in my body when making decisions because I feel like it's the whole body and
Oh
not just
yeah.
what was your Enneagram again?
A
2.
2 wing 3. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm curious if it's changed though, because I've healed a lot of that
Mhm.
people pleasing helper energy.
I agree. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So I'm curious if it would be, because that was like 5 or 6 years ago that the
Mhm.
Enneagram was really trending.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
still trending. I
Yeah.
just took it again the other
Is it?
day.
Okay.
Yeah. You
I need to
I
take it
would
again.
I would love for you to retake the test and report
Okay.
back to everyone.
Okay, I will. I will. That will be fun. My decision
Mhm.
maker I know is in my gut. So I do really well if someone asks me yes or no questions. I don't
Mhm.
always do well with like the gray area, but like if you're like, do you want to go to this party? Yes or no? And I have to choose one or the other, that like really helps me.
Mhm. My answer would definitely be no. Thank you.
I know. We were just talking. I was like, okay, Sharon. She gets on here and she's like, I'm actually not dreading this. I'm excited.
Uh-huh. I like feel in my body when someone has asked me to do something, I'm like, "Ooh, I don't really want to do it." I was telling Liz, I have not dreaded this at all. I was just like waiting for her and I was like playing my little word game. I was like, this is gonna be so nice. This is nice.
But is this like the only thing on your calendar for today? You're like, this is it. This is all I'm doing.
Well, fun fact. So one of the assignments for my master's program this week, we can do like a talking head, or
Mm.
we can still write our papers. We can like it's open. So I have been working on a presentation and I'm going to do a talking head and I'm really excited about it.
And you're already
Really
dressed because you're here with me.
Exactly. Exactly. Right?
You gotta stack all the things when you have, like, makeup done or whatever.
I know. I took a good 30 seconds to put, like, a little bit of blush and stuff on.
Yeah, 30 I know, mine was about 45 seconds, we'll give it that,
Yeah.
and then I turn it on, and I'm like, now I look like I'm not actually wearing any makeup
No
whatsoever.
one can tell. It's fine.
No, it's all for the feeling.
Right?
Okay, so do we wanna dive in and talk about the book? Are you ready?
Heck yeah.
I'm still waiting on my copy, and I'm not saying that from a place of rushing you because I know you're handwriting the notes.
I
I
am.
know you, I know Sharon, so I'm like, she has really taken her time with the
Mhm.
notes. But I have known you for a long time, and it has always been on your heart to write a book, whether it was a journal or a children's book. I know you had interest in both. Tell us, like, how the heck did this go from just a dream or an idea to like this really successful book launch? That gave me goosebumps.
I know. I can't. Oh my gosh. Let's see how many tears I can just shove back in my body. I do want to touch on the handwritten notes because I'm literally beside myself. I don't even I thought my family would buy signed copies, but so many people did.
Oh.
And I knew going into it that I wasn't just going to like sign my name and like ship the book. I'm like genuinely writing these heartfelt, life-giving messages. They're short, but a sentence or two. And yeah, I think some of these books might include some tears on them. So when you get yours, you might just like find a little spot, and that's my tear. Um, but yeah, so ever since I was little, I'm looking at the book right now. That's what I'm
I
like
know,
looking
I know, I know, you gotta hold it up.
gosh, ever since I was little, I've written poetry and I've journaled, and I'm talking like early grade school. I even remember 5th grade. I won the Dare. You remember Dare Challenge?
Oh my god, so did I.
You won. You did.
I always
Yeah,
tell people my public speaking journey started when I won the
mine
Dare
too.
contest.
Yes. How funny. Like that is something if I actually do go out to the grocery store or something and we get to talking, like I might tell you that I won the 5th grade Dare thing and I presented it in front of the whole school.
I mean, isn't that a big deal? It's only like one winner, right?
Yeah, I think right?
I
Isn't
think
it
so.
out of the state or county or something?
Yeah, I just for some
I can't
reason, I
remember.
happened to meet a lot of people that also got chosen, and I think that's probably just the company that we keep, right?
Uh-huh. I love
But
that.
yeah, it's crazy.
Uh-huh. So, I've been writing ever since I was little, and I remember my mom, she would always say, "You could and you should write a book one day." I will say one of the beautiful things about the relationship with my mom is any dream that I had, it wasn't like she was blindly encouraging me. She genuinely thought that I
Mm.
could do it and I would do it well. So I definitely always felt supported with my crazy ideas.
'Cause you
And
can
if
tell the difference. I need to shine the light on that for a second. Our kids or anyone, they can tell the difference when we're just blindly
Mhm,
smiling and agreeing
yeah,
versus when they really believe it.
mhm.
And
I
I bet
genuinely
you could have told your mom anything, and she would bring that "I really believe it" energy.
mhm.
Yeah.
That was one of even toward so I lost my mom, for those of you who don't know, I lost my mom a couple of years ago to stage 4 metastatic breast cancer, and towards the end of her life, we of course, knowing me, like, every conversation just goes deep real fast, and we were sitting in the room playing with, one of our cats, and I just looked up on her, she was sitting on the bed, and I said, "You know what? You wanna know one thing I'm really grateful for? You have always supported me." And going full time in my business, leaving a very secure, well paid, great benefits job, and going to school and playing college sports and being a coach and all of these crazy things that might scare other people, like, you have always supported me. And she did the same thing for me becoming an author. The goal was to have the book written before I lost my grandma. I really wanted her to hold it, like just
Mhm.
hold it in her hand. And the book that I initially wrote ended up being for me.
Mm.
No one will ever see those pages, ever. And I think what's really beautiful about that Even though, like, someone could look back and be like, "Oh, you didn't even publish your first book and you didn't get this out before your mom and your grandma passed. Like, that must really suck." And, I can hold space for that. That first book that I wrote that will never see the light of day gave me so much healing and got me to a
Mm,
place where I was able to genuinely write the book that did get published.
yeah.
And looking back, so my mom knew that I was writing a children's book. In her final, actually, it was 2 days before. Let's not pretend like I don't know. It was 2 days before I have the time written down. Um, she was mostly unresponsive at this point, and I said, "Mama, I'm gonna read you my children's book. It's the first draft. I'm probably gonna change it like 35 more times, but I'm gonna read this to you." So I read it to her, and she looks at me. Well, no, she wanted to.
Mhm.
Um, she's just laying there, and out of the silence, she goes, "Well, you dedicated it to the right person." After I read it to her and I told her I was gonna dedicate it to her. And then she went back to being unresponsive. And I wrote down the time and the date that she said that. And that moment, not only did I knew that I was gonna dedicate the book to her, I already knew the theme, the premise of the book, but that moment became a touch point, like, throughout the rest of the process of, like, designing the book and
Mm. And so your original book wasn't for children, it was like a book, right?
Mhm.
So what made you change from, like, a grown-up book to a children's book?
Oh, that's a great question because I actually never changed. I thought my first book was gonna be for women,
Mm.
and then I knew that once that book was out into the world, I wanted to be a children's author.
Mhm, mhm.
But that first book that I thought just had to be out in the world for me to, like, live freely and exist wholly had nothing to do with the world at all. It had everything to do with me, and I was able to get to a place where I could exist just as I am, and I'm a children's author.
I know, oh my gosh. And you know what I think is so crazy about how and, again, this is, like, someone who watches you closely, but not every move. How successful the launch was, but I don't feel like you were talking about this over the like, daily for the last year like a lot of people do when they're getting ready to launch a book. Like, you didn't have this big runway or, like, waiting list or anything. It was kinda just like, "It's coming out."
Mhm. Oh,
I
okay.
mean, I don't know if it felt like that, but, like, watching, it was really amazing to see the success of the launch without that buildup.
Okay. I can talk about this
Okay.
because I don't like launches. And it's not for a lack of understanding or competency. Like, I can teach it. I can teach a launch. I have taught it. I'm also an educator. I've been an educator for a long time. It does not align with me.
Mhm.
And I worked closely with a mentor this past year where I just kept struggling with this um, idea of marketing where I know how to do it. The wherewithal is there, the skill is there, but I genuinely do not want to market the way that I know would be successful and is, socially accepted. And this book, and I keep looking at it, guys. It is so pretty. The illustrator, Rebecca Olson, like, I told her yesterday, I'm like, "I think the reason this is doing so well is mostly because you did such a great job illustrating it."
The
So
cover is
pretty.
really beautiful.
It's I may be biased, I don't think so, but I think it is one of the most beautiful children's books that I've ever seen. Okay. Anyways, moving on. What was I saying? Launch. I did not go into this project looking to be a millionaire to make a bunch of money. This is 1,000%, 1,002% a heart project. And when I thought about launching this book, I did not want to go with a traditional publisher because I didn't want this is my rebel against, I guess,
Mhm.
marketing standards. I do not want people telling me what could or could not go in the book, A, what had to
Mhm.
be changed about it. It's such a heartfelt, meaningful book. So many little aspects of it are so meaningful, and I could not be told what to do. I also didn't want to be told that I had to fly to California to do an interview. Not happening. I didn't want to be told when to post. I genuinely approached this book like with the heart that I have for it. So when it felt right to talk about it, I talked about it. When I felt inspired to create a reel, I created a reel. I don't like launches, but talking about the book felt right. And so I did. And there was no rhyme or reason to it. I I went into the actual pre-sale period. Like, okay, I'm gonna do pre-sale on Sunday for signed copies. I posted about it on Friday because I was so excited, and I'm like, "You guys, this book is so incredible." I held on to. I got the book that Wednesday to proof it, and I'm like, "Why am I hiding this? This is so
Mhm.
stupid. Why am I gonna just wait until Sunday to hit a check mark on my to-do list for a certain launch?" And I'm gonna talk about it right now. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I feel that. I did that recently with a project. I was like, I'm gonna talk about it on Monday. It was like
Yeah,
Saturday afternoon. I was like, nope, it's coming out.
yeah, that's the best. And I feel like if we were to like really analyze marketing, I feel like our community, they can tell, like I'm
Mm.
specifically talking about ours, mine and yours. They can tell when we're full of shit.
Yeah,
Beep. So
yeah,
if we are coming at this from a I don't know, inauthentic place, they're gonna tell. So you showing up on that Saturday talking about that's so Liz. That's so perfect and messy and perfectly on brand for you.
yeah, yeah. And I've been on this high horse. I've been on my TED Talk, my soapbox lately about the best marketing is the truth.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. I've seen your posts.
yeah,
100%.
like I'm kind of a little tired of like this. Well, let me market from. I believe in manifesting and operating and making decisions from where you want to be, but don't market and say things that aren't true,
Oh yeah.
right?
Don't. Hmm.
Like it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't
Hmm.
like everyone's version of success is so different. We don't I don't need to say I'm an eight-figure business owner to gain
Hmm.
somebody's trust and then justify it with, "Oh, well, I'm going to be." You know?
Yeah.
It's like that authentic voice that you're talking about when we show up for the passion of it, not from a place of sales or marketing strategy,
Yeah.
that is the best marketing.
Hmm.
I mean, I think about everything I did to build my photography business. I didn't even know anything about marketing. I was literally just talking about what I cared about,
Hmm.
and it
That's
works.
the best. Yeah, that's the best. And
Yeah.
it can for people who also share the same sentiment, like from what I was saying earlier about like, dang, like I know how to market. I could play these games. I could, do all the things that they say works and I know works. I mean, I've done them, but it just doesn't feel right. And getting to a place where you can just I guess accept that and stop fighting against it and genuinely show up as you are in a way that feels great for you. Like that is what will help you stay fulfilled and have a happy heart and whatever
Yeah.
it is that you're doing.
Yeah. And it's like there was a shift when I stopped chasing something and I'm like, wait, all my needs are met. Like, why do I think I have to reach for something else? And like when you present that energy to the world of like, I already have everything I need. I'm just here to help if you want it. There's
If
something
you
so
don't
much more
want
magnetic. Right. There's
it.
something so much more magnetic about that than
Uh-huh.
like, do you want to make 10K a week? Blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, it's so different. But what this does require, what you and I are describing, this authentic truth of just being ourselves, it does require breaking through some fear
Ugh.
of being genuine. So I am so excited for you to tell us a little bit about like what kind of fears popped up with this project.
I already knew you were
And
going to ask this. I'm already sweating just thinking about it. Sorry, go
and I'm
ahead.
like, there's
Finish.
probably more than one, but like, what feels I want to write a book one day. And I get emotional thinking about your whole process because, I do feel like I'm fighting the clock of like I want my mom and my aunt
Mhm.
to see it. And I'm like, I know it's not important, but it feels important,
Oh no, it is important.
you
Yeah.
know?
Mhm.
Um, and I don't know that there's fear there, but I haven't started, so there must be.
A sense of
Right?
urgency. That sense of
Yeah.
urgency. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I love this question and it has shown up a lot. You guys, once I get to this get to the big point, you're gonna know why I'm so like sweating already. Okay, so let's talk about little fears. I think it started with the marketing aspect, like we touched
Mm.
on, whether I should self-publish, which is what I went with, or if I should go with a publisher. Am I making the wrong decision? Like I have such my community, I freaking love my community, but I don't have like total. I think between Facebook and Instagram, it's like I don't know, 13 to 15K. Um, and in the world of publishing, that's not a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to the point where I didn't give a beep about that, and I just wanted to like go with my heart.
Mm.
So that was the first fear that presented itself. Am I making the right decision? Am I going to hurt my future as an author? Like either decision I make. The second fear was like we talked about the launch stuff. Like, am I hurting myself by not doing these stupid launches that I know works? Like it's such an inner debate. Like I know this works. I don't feel good doing it. So that fear came up of like, should I even be doing this book if I am not ready or like wanting to do this like big launch for it? And I got to a place I worked really hard last year with my mentor and I accepted that I don't have to do things the way that everyone is telling me to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I overcame that one. Okay. The big one, I did not want to do any interviews. I didn't want to do any, I'm like literally sweating. I did not want to do any TV appearances. Guess who did a TV appearance?
I know. I'm like, oh my God. First of all, I should feel very special that I feel like you said yes to an interview from me. But yes, you freaking went on TV. You busted through that fear.
Oh my gosh, Liz. Okay. I was reached out to by someone at News Channel 3, WTKR in Norfolk, Virginia. We were actually in Norfolk at the time that I got this. I don't even know. I'm just going to tell you all the things, okay?
Yeah.
This is like Liz and I are having a legit Voxer chat right now, okay? We were at Ava's neurologist. Ava's our daughter. And I look at my phone, my jaw drops. Ava and Chase were like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I did not speak. I showed them the phone, and Chase and Ava didn't really fully understand, but Chase was like, "Your answer is yes. Shut up, your answer is yes." He was so excited.
Oh.
I responded back, I'm not even kidding. I responded back with, "Do you want my actual response or would you prefer a professional response?" This person responded with, "I get to choose, like you can choose." I said, "Oh my God," a whole bunch of vomit emojis. "Oh my gosh, what in the world?" My anxiety says, "Absolutely not." And then like a couple spaces down, it says, "Oh wow, what an incredible opportunity. Can you let me know what the process would be like?" And then I told this person, I gave my information, I said that I was open to it, and then I asked if we could schedule it for a couple of weeks so that I could spend 2 weeks being anxious before doing it. That's the truth.
And that's
And
what
then
you
I
did.
did.
You spent 2 weeks being nervous about it.
I did it. Okay, so as an introvert, and I genuinely, I have social anxiety. Um, Even being out in the world, like health condition wise, can be a little challenging. So I had to mentally prepare myself. Some people think that that 2 weeks would like make, I guess, the average person change their mind. No, I genuinely needed 2 weeks. If he said you have to come tomorrow, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. Not doing it. Thank you so much. But giving myself that time, like knowing what I need in order to like mentally prepare myself in order to do that, I definitely needed it. Can we fast forward to the day of?
Yes.
Okay. So it's roughly 2 hours from home. TMI. Y'all, I was so sick to my stomach. I was so nervous. Like, and I was doing the whole CBT, oh, let's change your thoughts. Like, this is so exciting. What an amazing opportunity. Like, yes, I'm a little nervous, but this is amazing. That does not work for me. It does not work. So I was feeling so sick. We get there. I'm super nervous. The producer, the host of the show, like everyone was so warm, so welcoming. And thank goodness for them, like, bless them because they were definitely helping me. Everything is okay. My heart rate is, like, sustained around 100, just sitting in there waiting. I go and sit up on the stage when it's my turn. They had the microphone on my throat, and if you were to go back and listen to the interview, there's a moment where you hear me loudly gulp, and I'm like, "This is straight out of a movie. This is
It's
so
probably like
funny." But my heart yeah, my heart was beating. Not only was it so fast, it spiked to about 160 because I was wearing my watch. I had to know. I had to know, like, what was gonna happen. I
yeah.
wanted to, like, look back. But it was beating so hard. I'm like, "There is no way that every viewer at home sitting on their couch is not listening to my heart beat out of my chest." I blacked out. I only remember, like, certain parts, and I got done. I said, "I'm really proud of myself." I don't know what I said, and I don't like that, and I'm, like, physically still it took me a couple days after that interview to, like, physically ground myself again. But I looked at Chase and I said, "Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how nervous did I look?" Me, knowing my internal experience and how I was physically shaking, when he said 3, I literally could have, like, punched his arm. I'm like, "You're lying." He's like, "No, like, I obviously, I know you were nervous, but I think it was like a 3." When we sat down to watch the interview that night, first, I was covering my face. I was like, I can never express to you or anyone how nervous I genuinely was. I was so freaking nervous that entire day. And I watched it and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I was coherent. I was competent." I mean, I've cried the whole time, but that's not unusual for me. I I was already proud of myself not knowing that it actually turned out to be a good interview, but seeing that I did well despite how, like, physically sick I was feeling, like, despite those physical symptoms, I don't know, it and this is also a testament to how much heart is in this
Mm,
book and a part of this book because I would not have done this otherwise. Even for my photography business, I would not be doing that, and I've
yeah.
been doing that for 17 years.
Yeah.
The heart behind this book is what allowed me to overcome that fear, and I genuinely still get nervous thinking about it. I have only rewatched it one time. I can't rewatch it again.
But what I'm hearing though is that the mission, the purpose behind the book was greater than the like fear or the actual reality that you could pass out on stage and all
The
these things
gen
that could
Yeah.
happen, but there was something about the book and getting it in the hands of more people, more children that need this message that is more important, that's greater than the fear.
And that makes me emotional because
Yeah.
for anyone that knows me, like, knows that that was, like out of the entirety of my life, when it comes to doing something out of your comfort zone, that was at the top of my list.
Yeah.
And my desire this is why I get emotional. My desire for sweet little children to have these moments of connection and meaningful conversations, these life enriching conversations with the adults in their lives, that means so much more than genuinely possibly losing consciousness. I was even playing out the scenario in my head like, okay, if I do lose consciousness, how could I spin this? How could I put a little bow on this to like show everyone my heart behind this because
Mhm.
I was willing to lose consciousness to get this book and this story the values and the just the moments that can come from this story out into the world.
Yeah. Yeah. But was there ever a fear, going back to the fear list, of because this is where my fear I wrote down my fears because I was like, "Oh, that's funny. I didn't know what they were." And then I started realizing once I said it out loud, I have a fear that like if I write a book, no one will buy it.
Mm.
And then I have a fear of like, is this taking creative energy that my business needs? And I don't know if you
Oh.
felt any of that. Like, is pouring into this book that may or may not sell, like going to take away from my business generating revenue or just like the people that need me, and I know
Mhm.
you do some similar work with like coaching and have clients and photography clients that you have commitments to. Was there any fear of like, is this taking my attention?
Mhm. Well, first, I want to applaud you for sharing those. Um, that's really beautiful. We'll have to discuss that. Um, yeah, now that you say it like that, okay, so I didn't have a fear about the book not selling. In fact, I was
Mm,
expecting the fact that, okay, let's talk numbers for a second. I am, what, a month in? I think,
yeah, about.
yeah, about a month in, and I've sold roughly 250. And as someone who is self published, first time author, in the publishing world, a small following, very, very minimal launch, that is very impressive.
Yeah.
And I,
250 of anything with your size audience is extremely
yeah,
impressive because most
and
people don't really know how the numbers work, right? And
yeah,
I've never launched anything and sold 250s of anything.
it's mind blowing. And I didn't know that it was mind blowing, but I asked Dr. Chat GPT, and it confirmed that that is impressive.
Yay! Oh my
So
god, I love that you did that.
I did. I'm like, what is like the average um amount of books sold for a first time author with like blah blah blah, and I like gave all the specs, and it was actually substantially lower than where I'm at. And wow. So anyways, I didn't have any fear of like the book not selling. This was genuinely a heart project.
Yeah,
Like if
yeah.
this, I know a lot of people say like if this touches one person then I'm good. They I have some questions about, majority of people that say that. When I say that, I genuinely mean it. Like even getting the book here and Ava opening it and reading it to me and like just talking about the different illustrations and the little, like, that was worth it for me.
That was worth
That
the
was
whole
amazing.
investment, the whole shebang.
100%.
Yeah.
But you talked about the fear of it affecting your business. Not necessarily. However, I did have a huge fear. I guess we can classify this as fear. I'll just say it and then we can determine if it's fear or not. It was definitely holding me back financially.
Mhm.
Like when I think about the financial investment, because I'm going to be totally transparent, I'm upwards of 10K into this book. And if you are familiar with being an author, I probably won't ever see that back. Okay.
You
So,
will, it'll just take some time.
yeah, long time from now.
It'll take some time.
And it's fine if I don't. Like, I genuinely went into it, like, knowing that I wouldn't. And
Yeah.
if I do, like, oh my gosh, what a gift that'll be. But yeah, I would say the first few years of like real, like I'm genuinely going to be doing this. I'm going to be a children's author. The first few years of me, I guess dragging my feet was I didn't want to use AI
Mhm.
drawings. I didn't want to use stock photography or stock art. I wanted to genuinely like invest in a very good illustrator, Rebecca Olson. Shout out to her again. Love her. Um, and I didn't want to pull money from the family,
Yeah.
knowing knowing that there was not going to be any ROI.
Mm.
So I would say that's probably a fear.
Yeah, and that's a hard one. I mean, but
Mhm.
you hit the nail on the head with just seeing Ava's response justified the investment. And I keep thinking, I know I could break through this barrier because putting on my event was very similar, right?
Mhm.
Like fear for me, and it was about $10,000 to $12,000, and I just knew that my goal was not, I wasn't worried about the investment because
Mhm.
I was investing in something else. I was investing in me doing it and breaking through that fear. And same thing, if it helps one person, then I've
Mhm.
invested my money into helping one person and I'm cool with that.
It's worth it.
It's worth it. So I'm like, okay, I have evidence of my life that I've overcome these like similar fears, but like that's how you overcome those financial ones is like, what would actually make this considered worth
Mhm.
it? And when you can define those things, you're like, oh, I don't actually need to sell X amount of copies to make the investment feel worth it. Because
Mhm.
worth it is different than ROI and numbers,
Mhm. Yep.
right? It's like in your heart, we invest in things all the time. Why not invest in something like this that's bigger than us that helps so many people?
Mhm. And that worth it is different for everyone.
Yeah.
So my worth it isn't going to be the same for you.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like I need to circle back. I hate that word circle back. I want to touch you said that it's important but it's not important in reference to getting the book done before, God
Mm.
forbid, your mom and grandma. I mean, your mom and I say that because of me. Your mom and aunt. I know
Uh-huh.
you're super close with your aunt. I just wanted to circle back that is important, and I don't want the other side of what you were saying, like, well, but that isn't that important. I don't want that piece to be what holds you back from doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's more like I don't want to operate from this place of urgency,
Mm-hmm.
of like fear that it's so important that now I'm operating from urgency.
Yeah.
Because I am very spiritual, and I do believe that, if their
Mm-hmm.
time comes before I publish any book or whatever, that they'll still know that it happened, and they'll still be present. So it's not for me to see their reaction. Like, I almost don't need to see the reaction. It's just like knowing the words and what they mean and dedicating them.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, my actual dharma is like literally placed in me from my mother, which then came from, the spiritual realm passed into her to pass on to me, which is just it's so cool. It's like, oh my God, I'm like in my 40s and I can't believe it took me this long to figure it out. But then I also feel like, oh my God, I'm just starting and it's so exciting,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So yeah, it is important, but I don't want it to be so important that now I'm not giving the project the attention and care that it deserves because I feel like I've
In your
got to
heart.
meet a deadline. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I went through that too.
Yeah.
Oh, it
And
can
that's a
weigh
hard
heavy.
balance. And you were
Yeah.
so close.
Mm-hmm. So close.
Yeah.
I'm just so thankful that I was able to read that first draft to her, and like
Yeah.
hearing her, and I don't know if anyone who's listening, trigger warning, grief death. Um, I don't know if anyone has ever been that close to someone who's passed away, and I mean close to like been there when someone has passed away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those final stages of life they're really hard,
Mm-hmm.
and there's some really beautiful moments in those really hard remaining hours and days, and oh, it makes me so emotional because just to know that she was so unresponsive and to know that she freaking heard me
Mm.
and for her to still be her spicy little self and be like, well, you dedicated it to the right person.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I will literally carry that with me forever.
Oh, I can't
Yeah.
wait to read it because I feel like that phrase is going to even land differently once I've actually read it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
I don't want
even
to read it till it's in my hands.
the dedication pages, I mean, it's not super long.
Yeah.
It's brief, but I just feel like it's really sweet. Can
Yeah.
I share some of the like tangible ways I was able to incorporate
Yeah.
like personal things into the book? Okay, so in the book, it was really important to me to incorporate pieces of my mom in a tangible way. And so you'll see like a ribbon throughout the book. And on the ribbon, it's my mom's actual handwriting from her journal. She used to write just very reflective, beautiful, short, sweet things in her journal about how the birds sound so pretty or
Mm.
how the moonlight dances across the floor in her bedroom at night. And she loves having the windows open, the curtains blowing. Very like little things and how beautiful they are. I don't know if anyone's watching, but I'm wearing the shirt Liz got me that says like enjoy the
Oh.
little things. And so that is in the book, woven throughout the pages. And the main character, Sunnybird, that represents me. Mama Lynn, the mama bird, represents my mom. And we even unexpectedly lost a kitten we rescued last summer. And
Oh.
he made an appearance, which is a little nod to the next book. And the theme of the next book will be on friendships, like unexpected friendships and inclusion, and how sometimes like we can connect so beautifully and so richly with people that are not like us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some of my greatest, I feel like, friendships, even my husband, my love is like my opposite, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to read it. Oh my gosh. So exciting.
You're gonna have teardrops all in it. when
I
I say
know. Well,
it.
and it's so when you were holding up the cover and we were talking about how beautiful it is, I mean, it really does look like it belongs like showcased on the shelf at Barnes and Noble, right? Like not just like
Oh,
tucked in like all of the books, but like front and center. And I can't wait to just see what continues to happen with it because like the hard part is done, now you
mhm.
just get to like have these creative surges of different ways to promote it, right?
Yeah, if I so choose to do so.
If you choose to do so, it's up to you. And you could do it 3 years from now. Like it's not like it's going anywhere. I
Mhm.
love it. Okay. I had a feeling we would take it down to the wire. Is
Oh,
there
sorry.
anything else that I know they can get the book on Amazon? We're going to link it in the show
Mhm.
notes. Have you created a short link or anything like that? Is there anything that people can do to go find it?
They can go to Amazon or they can
Okay.
go to Barnes and Noble. And apparently there's hundreds of other sites that are, oh, we didn't even touch on this real quick. There are a bunch of sites. They will mark up the price. I have no
Mhm.
say in that. Those are those particular retailers. I don't see any of that. It's literally the retailers doing that. So I would recommend either Amazon or Barnes and Noble. Um, yeah, fun fact, I haven't created a special website for this. I haven't added it to my current website.
You know
And
what, though? Now that I
other
say that out loud, because I know how Amazon works, it's actually going to help you way more if people search, find, buy. So you want them going to Amazon, searching Sunnybird Special Nest, and when they find it on their own, buying it, and that's going to help the algorithm more than anything. So
yes.
I'm actually glad you didn't do that now that I'm going through that process.
Mhm.
Um, so search, find, buy Sunnybird Special Nest on
Yep.
Amazon.
Sunnybird Special Nest on Amazon. It helps with rankings.
Hmm.
I will say, just side note for those business folks listening, it is more financially fruitful to sell directly because you get all of the money that the retailers get.
Hmm.
But yeah, that would not help with any ranking. So if you're, can I just say, I have been ranked number one through one of the distributors for juvenile values, lessons and
Oh,
values. I'm like, out of all of the themes that I wanted to be ranked in, that was it for values.
oh, I love that.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, so
Look
exciting.
at me
Well,
tooting my own horn. For those
I
of you that know
know.
me, like I don't talk like this.
I know. I love it. I love it. And you deserve every little bit of it. Like toot toot, girl.
Yeah. Toot, toot.
Okay, but people can find you on Instagram
Y'all
and
can
your
look me up
website.
at Sharon Hunley on Instagram. I'm very active on Instagram. You can go to my website, SharonElizabeth.co. That's CO. And yeah.
Okay. Well, I so appreciate having you on here. This was magical. And way overdue. I feel like we could do a part 2 and a part 3 and just keep it going
Mhm.
because this is like the Voxer life. Such good
Yeah.
conversation
Yeah. This is definitely like our Voxer come into video
to
here.
real life. Okay.
Yeah, to
Well,
real
I
life.
love you lots. We'll put everything in
Love
the show
you.
notes. You're the best.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so update. Since Sharon and I recorded this episode, it's Liz here back in real time. Sunnybird's special nest did arrive, and Madison, my middle child, was right here with me when we did the unboxing, and we actually attempted to record a video unboxing it and reading it so that I could send it to Sharon, and had a technology glitch and the video did not work. But it was still a really special experience to read it with Madison and tell her, kind of the story behind it and how Miss Sharon wrote it. She knows Miss Sharon, and she loved it so much. It was very, very special. It's a wonderful book, so I highly recommend if you have kids to make sure that you grab your copy and connect with Sharon on Instagram. She's just an incredible human being, and she's always sharing love and light. And you can find her at Sharon Hundley, Hundley, on Instagram. And then don't forget, if you want to go buy her book, just jump over to Amazon and search Sunnybird Special Nest children's book, and I'm sure you will have no problems finding it. But that search, find, buy helps the algorithm. So I'm going to do that instead of the link is in the show notes to make it easy, but it's always going to help the authors more if you can do the search, find, buy. So thank you guys so much. Sharon is so wonderful. It made my heart happy to share her with you guys. And we will have a few copies of the book, or at least a QR code to get the book at Elevate and Inspire. And Sharon's working on a special little something for you guys there too. So she will not be there in person, but she's working on a special little something. I'll just say that. So make sure that you get your ticket for Elevate and Inspire if you have not already. It is at elizabethhenson.co/event. And it is in Norfolk, Virginia on April 24th and 25th. There are a few of you that might be listening to this from Sharon's audience, so I would love, love, love to have you guys there. elizabethhenson.co/event. This is a 2-day in-person event all about community-based marketing and self-development. It is an incredible experience and vibrational frequency. Last year's was awesome. So come get your ticket, and we'll see you guys there. Thanks for joining us. This is episode 184, so you can find all the links in the show notes at elizabethhenson.co/E184.